Right, UK business debt. 4 myths that I'm going to bust today. My name is Chris Word, and if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to the channel or leave a comment in the section. Right, we're going to go through some business debt myths today that I hope is going to help you if you are a UK director who may be struggling with business debt. So listen, let me tell you, at the moment, you are not the only one. It is a bloodbath out there. It's really tough for people, and it seems to be getting tougher. The first myth that I'm going to bust is struggling with business debt means my business has no future. Just not true. You know, the reality is financial hiccups are part of the journey for most businesses, big and small. You know, it's all about having the right strategies to get through the problems that may be short term. You know, I think, let's look at some formal and informal tools. If you've got some short term cash flow problems, what you could do is speak to creditors. Speak to creditors, negotiate better payment terms. Pay a small payment. Tell them you can't pay them all. You can't pay them all today, but you'll pay this much and you'll try again in the next month. Or you've got to communicate with creditors, and most of them will do deals with you. If you owe HMRC, VAT, PAYE, corporation tax, the key is to speak to the revenue and say, listen, I've got a short-term cash flow problem. I need to do something called a time to pay arrangement on these debts. And the revenue should let you extend the period of time you're paying those debts over to about 12 to 24 months. Now, they'll charge you some interest, and yes, you'll have to keep up to date with, further returns. But what it does, it can sort of see you through that, what hopefully is a short-term issue. If things aren't going to improve in the very near future and you can't really sort of see past that 12, 18-month stage, but further along than that, you can see things settling down. If you dealt with this legacy debt that's built up, then you might want to consider a CVA, company voluntary arrangement. And that's where you hire an insolvency practitioner and they negotiate with your creditors and they put all your unsecured debts into a pot, and it allows your business to pay those debts over 5 years. Now, to be able to get one of these approved, you need to demonstrate that your business will be profitable without the legacy debt, and you can afford to pay it, and there'll be cash flows and projections needed. But if 75% of your creditors approve the CVA, that's a way forward. What's the worst case scenario? You're struggling with that, but you've got you might have been knocked. Your industry might have been decimated. But if you had a new vehicle to trade through, you'd be able to make it profitable. You've learnt from the mistakes. You've weathered the storm. You could look at a pre-pack. You set up a new business, and the new business agrees to buy the assets from the old business, and then you liquidate the old business. And you carry on with the new business. Some of today's most successful companies have had to weather some serious storms over the years. So just because you've got some debt problems now, it doesn't mean you're a bad business. I'm generalising here. You're probably better off speaking to somebody to find out the specifics of yours. But myth number 2, debt signifies bad business decisions. What a load of nonsense. There's loads of things that could have meant why you've had to take on debt in your business. There's external factors, market changes, global events or sudden disruptions. Hello, COVID pandemic, cost of living crisis, materials going through the roof, staff wanting loads of money, can't find the staff, recession. These are all external events that nobody planned, that have meant businesses have had to take on more debt to get through. It's about learning, adapting and sort of overcoming these scenarios. I mean, it's important that you look at where the problem has started, okay? But I think once you've diagnosed where the problem started, you need to look at, well, what's the solution? I heard this once and it was fantastic. It can be a business owner who is in a burning house. It is burning down around them. And he's so obsessed as to where the fire started Get out the fucking house. You know, yes, it's important to understand the problem, but then you've got to get into the solution and move forward. You know, myth 3, all business debts and terms are final with no wiggle room. I get it all the time, you know. Chris, I need to liquidate my business. And obviously I ask them some questions. I go through in detail and I'm like, you don't need to liquidate your business. What you need to do is get on the phone, speak to one of your creditors and tell them you can't pay them, but you can pay them over this period of time. You know, again, the big one of these is HMRC. I had a guy I spoke to yesterday, been in business a long, long time, always paid his taxes on time. He'd been in business 20 years. Through market conditions, he's going to struggle to pay his VAT bill, and he has a corporation tax bill that's going to be due soon. And he's like, Chris, I need to liquidate. I'm like, you don't need to liquidate. What you need to do is speak to the revenue and request a time to pay arrangement. And you go into them at 2 years, you know, be hard with them. And he just blew his mind. You know, he didn't realise you could do that. And by the way, I know it's uncomfortable, especially with suppliers that you've had for a long time. But in tough times, needs must. You're going to have to get in the trenches and have difficult conversations to get your business some breathing space. You know, myth number 4, if I ignore my business debt problems, they will go away. Honest to God. I've been there. I have been there where I'm just thinking something's going to happen and I'm going to get out of Dodge. If you're constantly struggling to pay your debts, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, the letters are just coming, you're on stop everywhere, you're dreading answering the phone, it is a clear sign you have got a problem that's not going to get any better. And you've got to deal with it head on. You know, and the best way to do that is get it all in front of you. Who do I owe? When do I owe it? What's coming in? What might happen next month? Good case, bad case, likely case, you know? What's my cash coming in like? What's my inventory like? And by dealing with it and seeing it as it is, not worse than it is, you know, just looking at it down the barrel of a gun and going, right, what do I do here? Now, you might need to seek professional advice to understand what your options are, and that be insolvency advice with someone like me, or your accountant might be able to help you. But connect with these people and take advice early, because the earlier you take advice, the more options that you're going to have available to you. I hope that's dispelled the 4 business debt myths. If you like our channel, please like and subscribe.